But you never know that you could when you feel that way. Ain't it good, good dancing in the red and gold? Dancing in the red and gold.
What's up, Faithful? Welcome to the 49er Faithful UK Live. As always, I'm your host, Paul Hope. And yes, people, we have made it. The team have officially reported for training camp, which means one thing. Football is back, baby.
Yeah. Finally.
Our San Francisco 49ers have 48 days until the September 9th home opener against the New York Jets in prime time. A lot has happened since our last show, and helping me break all that down and much, much more, I'm sure, is a familiar face. He is the host of the Stay Faithful podcast, part of the East Coast Red and Gold podcast team, content creator, t-shirt designer, and all-round legend. I'm delighted to welcome back to the 49er Faithful UK Live, the one, the only, my good friend, Ty Alston.
Yeah, what an intro. Why, thank you, good sir. You know, always happy to chat with you. Definitely happy to be on with you. Let's do this. Football's back, baby. The team is back. Love it.
Is back. So the eagle-eyed Ty will see that Lee Gowland is not sat beside me. He has whisked his wife off for their 25th wedding anniversary. So I'm sure he's heading to the airport or he's soon to be in the airport. Now, he is correct, people. I did keep this one under wraps because Ty, you are a friend of the stars, all-round legend. And as soon as you said you could come on, I thought, right, I won't announce it, but I put a subtle tweet out there, which you liked. So thank you for joining us, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And hey, Lee. Hey, Shell. What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
James, good to see you, buddy.
Bye. So what you might have saw, Ty, before we get into it. So remember Brett from the Gold Mine, everybody's favourite Scotsman behind James. Brett has put a post in the 49er Faithful UK group. He is doing a BA, Ty. He's holding out for a new contract. So this is what James is meaning, that Brett Sinclair needs the beers he deserves. So don't worry, James. I'm sure he's in negotiations. Colin, glad to see you've made it over from Chapman.
Hey,
As
Colin.
I said to Ty off air, I did panic when John Chapman went live about an hour ago. But being the friend of the show he is, Ty, he wrapped it up just in time for all these good people to join us.
Such a good man.
Yeah, it's what John does for us. I was a little bit nervous, not going to lie. And Shell, she loves the opening song. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Ty, but The Gathering of Strangers, that song Red and Gold, is actually played at Levi's. And with them being a British band, El Presidente worked his magic. And not only is it a song that the team run out to, it is the theme tune to our podcast.
Yeah, I remember when it all started. I was listening in. You announced it on the Awesome Foursome, how you made that happen, and loved the song, and I've loved it from day one. So yeah, it's great.
James Little is in the house, so he was on the show with us a couple of weeks ago. Red Jet Shell tuning in from across the pond. Now, Ty, I know these good people want to talk about training camp and all things football, but there's only one place we can start tonight. Now, I'll just put this picture up. You may have seen a tweet or two about this particular picture. So when you saw this drop, Ty, what was your first thought when you saw the flag in Kittle's hands?
Just elation, joy. I think my exact thing was, yes, he got it. He got it. Because I know this is something that was worked on. It was inevitable that he would get one, but it was just pure joy to see him actually receive it, and then him holding up the flag proudly, as we all do when we have our flags.
Yeah, so the backstory why Ty is involved, I think Lee has tried a few various different ways to get the UK faithful flag to George, but the wheels started turning when you had Bruce and Emma on the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. And I think you asked George's dad, whether we'd seen the flag, if that's
Yes,
correct.
yes, because they keep all of their flags and such in the barn that they have. That's really like a workout area. And they post them proudly on the wall. And when Bruce and Emma were on the East Coast Red and Gold show, I took the time out to explain them how the UK just community just loves George, big fans. I told them the backstory of how Club 85 started, how everyone had their first meetup after COVID and everyone showed up wearing George's jerseys. Everyone had on an 85 jersey, right? So thus the beginning of Club 85. And they love that story. And Bruce said, everyone should have a Club 85. So that really got the wheels turning. So I asked them specifically, hey, have you received the flag? Trying to get you one. Do you remember seeing one? And they said no, but they'll definitely check. And I'm sure that got the wheels turning even more. And I know Lee was working in the background, so that definitely helped.
Yeah, so El Presidente sent the flag across, and I think it wasn't this weekend, it was the weekend before. So the day we posted the picture, Ty, Lee texted me at like 9 a.m. UK time, and all it said was, I'm sending you something. You're not allowed to tell a soul. You're not allowed to share it until
Sounds like Lee.
6 p.m. UK time, which would be 9 a.m. over in San Francisco. And then that picture, which is on the screen, popped into my inbox. And I was like a kid at Christmas Eve that couldn't tell any of the other kids what we were getting for Christmas. So
you knew.
It got to about 5:45, and Tracy was like, we really need to go out and eat. Like, we go out on a Saturday night. That's how we're time for a meal. And I was like, I had this tweet saved because I wanted to drop on all socials. I wanted it on Twitter. I wanted it on Instagram. I wanted it on Facebook. And I still kind of have to pinch myself, Ty, that it happened. So you and Jess and the East Cold Red and Gold podcast were an integral part to making this happen. At the bottom, Lee's asked me to shout out the Kittles podcast.
Yes.
Check out the Hidden Pearls podcast with the Kittle family. They are on a mission to unite the world through storytelling. And as you said at the start there, Ty, they were inspired by our very own Club 85, and we just have to show them the love. I've listened to a couple of their podcasts recently. They're great follow on social media. But thank you, Ty, for your part in getting that picture, because that, I'm sure you'll have seen it many a time. And I chuckled because the UK faithful started saving the picture and then updating their Facebook profiles. So it was very similar to the Joe Staley. So when we all met Joe Staley in London, everybody was like, Joe Staley, Joe Staley. And then seeing George with a flag, it's just another feather in our cap. And again, Lee, I know you're watching, buddy. All your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. And hope you have a good one on the cruise. And that means, Ty, that he's left me in charge yet again. He's jetting off out of the country.
Left you to your own devices.
What could go wrong, buddy?
Exactly.
Now, I said at the start of the show, training camp is here. The team have reported. Now, literally, they've just started practicing over there. And Lee has shared that Garendo is out with a hamstring injury. As Lee's put there, Ty, he has history with this injury, and it's not a great start. What do you make of this? Anything to be worried about, or is it just too early to be making wild predictions?
It's too early, and we got to see the extent of hamstring injuries. They're always tricky. Is it a severe hamstring or just like a little tweak? Is it something that's going to hold them out 1 week or 4 weeks? One thing we do know is that with guys that have that fast speed, those guys that get downhill quick, they tend to linger because for some whatever reason. So hopefully this is not severe. I'm sure it's early in camp. They will be cautious with him, and it's something that doesn't linger, because I'm really excited to see what he can do within this offense.
Yeah, me too. He was my pick on our mock draft show. He was the only one that I got right. I think he's a Shanahan type of player. I think
most
Shanahan's
definitely.
quite intrigued by, as you said, their speed. Hamstrings are a strange one. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
each one is different. A lot of it can be down to conditioning. A lot of it could be maybe not stretching properly. They haven't come out, Ty, and said it was a hamstring tear. They haven't put him on the...
Exactly. If it's just a simple pull, a tweak, it's going to be 1 week, 2 weeks. Normally they give those hamstring grades. It's a grade 1, grade 2, something like that. So I'm just going to take a breath and wait and see and hope for the best.
I mean, you counteract. We all love the team, and we've all been sat around for what seems forever since that fateful night in February.
The longest off season ever.
Well, it's been strange, Ty, because for the first time that I can remember, we've had no controversy. Brock is QB1. Yes, we've got the BA stuff, which we'll get to, but it's been quite a settled off season.
Yeah.
And I think it's been nice to take a couple of weeks break, but like everybody else, I'm already back on refreshing Twitter. I'm on social media. For us in the UK, it's 8:15 in the evening. So for us, the training camp updates tend to come the next morning. Because obviously by the time you get in from work, you have something to eat, spend time with family, try and watch the awesome content creators. You digest the news overnight. And Slick Rick, nobody seems to be worried about Purcell. And I believe his is a hamstring injury. He did it off campus. So maybe we need to do what you said. Maybe it's just pump the brakes a little bit, just see what happens.
Exactly. And in the presser, that seems like John said he'll miss this week, but possibly be back next week. So I'm hoping that's the truth and he'll be okay.
So before we move on to that press conference, I'm going to catch up. There's a couple of comments I want to put up there. So James in the house, Club 85.
Hey, James.
I'm rocking my Club 85 t-shirt made by this legend, Ty. And Ty, we are truly international tonight because Brett Sinclair has heard his name and he's checked in from Morocco.
Look at that.
Lee Gowland, he's gone public like BA did on that podcast. And there it is, Ty. He wants a new contract. Now, I'm only the vice president. My hands are tied.
Right.
So Lee Gowland is going to have to dig deep to get a new contract sorted for Brett Sinclair.
Right. Hey, but put it out there on social, people. Hashtag justice for Brett. Hashtag pay Brett. You got to get that man a new contract.
And if you're on Twitter, @Flackers would be a good one to use. And if you don't know that one, if you do @49erFaithful UK, I'll just quote tweet Lee in them. So we'll get you justice, Brett. Ty,
we'll get the word no matter what.
Alex Simpson is in the house. Appreciate the kind words, buddy. Luke Walsh, Jed Walk has limped off the field, grabbing his hand.
I know.
So I like that. But I did watch the press conference last night, much to Tracy's horror, as you can imagine. She knows football season started when I am glued to my phone. YouTube is on. And as she said, didn't that man have a mustache last time you watched him on YouTube? And I was like, yes, Tracy, he did. Now, that is big news, Ty, because a lot of people, George included, were fans of the Shanatash. So it's gone. It is no distraction. It's gone, buddy.
He even said that in the press conference. He didn't want it to be a distraction. And he knew the press would ask about it. And they did. They asked like 4 or 5 questions about it. Unreal. So he knows what he's doing.
What did you make of the press conference last night? Because I think for all 49ers fans, it's obviously you see the notification. John and Kyle are going live. The topic, what everybody wants to know, is Brandon Ayuk in the contract. Now, what did you make of John and Kyle demeanor, the way they handled the press conference? I wanted to get your thoughts before I give my thoughts, that's all.
Yeah, I thought they were their normal, cool, and calm selves. They knew that the IU questions were coming because this is not the first year that they've dealt with this, right? We know what they've gone through in the previous years with the previous players. John Lynch stuck to his script of, hey, I'm not going to put anything out there. I've been in that position and I hate it when my business got out there. So we're not getting into specifics, but we want him here. We foresee BA being here for a long time. All of that good stuff. One thing about BA specifically, he did say they tried to get it done early.
Yep,
but
they
they
did
just
say that.
couldn't come. He just couldn't come to an agreement, which is understandable. We're talking millions of dollars over several years. That's not something people normally agree on quickly or easily. So it's taken its time, which is par for the course. Every other player took this long, so we shouldn't be shocked. Kyle was cool, and he talked about the offense and some things he wanted to do and things of that nature. So I thought it was a good opening presser overall, for just being the first day back and doing nothing. It was good to just hear from them because we haven't heard anything this entire off season. So it was good to hear something from them. And it's going to be good to hear from them moving forward as practices get going and they start to give us updates on those practices and players specifically.
So we're joined by Mariah before I give my thoughts. So Red Jet
What up,
Shell,
Mariah?
let's put a message there, Ty, saying that the channel has been profiled on No Days Off, and Red Jet Shell, friend of the show's, pinned it to her Instagram because she knows
Nice.
Twitter is her home. But it's great to see Mariah in the house. And there's Brett talking common sense, Ty, he's put there. The BA contract is unavoidable business. Nearly every team, every season has some sort of contract dispute. Now, I like what you said there. I think John Lynch handled the comments quite well. I think the reporters were justified to say this time last year, you gave us an absolute guarantee that Nick Bosa wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think that came back to bite him a little bit, but he handled that well. Obviously, John Lynch shares an agent with Brandon Ayuk, so that must be a difficult kind of putting
exactly
on. And I thought Kyle Shanahan handled the question from Grant Cohen quite well. Now, some people love Grant, some people hate Grant. I'm not here to stir the pot, but factually, it was quite funny to see Kyle let that guard down a little bit and kind of call him out. Now, I think it was good humor between the two of them. It was a little bit of a sparring back and forward. And I do think the reporters were asking the questions that we all wanted to know about Brandon Ayuk. I just kind of felt they maybe spent a little bit too long on that because you've not got them for too long. And straight away, as soon as they start talking, the time is on. And I think there was a couple of times we were trying to get updates on other players and the reporters kept coming back. And like you said, go on, buddy. It's okay.
No. I was going to say that's the point that's the one thing that got me. I knew in the opening it would be a barrage of Brandon Ayuk questions. Rightfully so. That's the big topic. But then when they moved on to other topics, I was like, okay, let's hear something else. But then they would kind of circle back. One or two individuals would circle back to Brandon Ayuk. And I'm like, okay, move on. Ask something else. There's 89 other players to ask questions about in position groups and things like that. Let's hear some updates on, what's going on at safety. What are you doing at cornerback? Our corners are up for a contract, things of that nature. I would have liked to have heard some questions about other positions, not just BA all the time.
Yeah. So Red Jet Shell has put that. She agrees. It's a road this team has been on in terms of getting contracts done, resolved. I'm glad that he's holding in. I'm glad that he's reported today. He's not suited up. He's at the facility. And he was on that podcast a couple of weeks ago. I can't think of it for the name of me, but it was just an NFL place, the Pivot podcast. So again, in the UK, anything that's on YouTube, Ty, we're digesting. And I thought Brandon Ayuk came across quite well on that podcast. He didn't upset me with the fact that he wants to get paid. He's looking out for him and his family. And I think John and Kyle were respectful of that yesterday. I did think it was telling that Kyle Shanahan said that he's not surprised by this. And as a head coach, he's planning for stuff like this. We've always said on the UK Faithful that Ayuk would get his contract done at training camp. I think the wide receiver market exploding has kind of not helped because I think we did try to get in front of it. Like you said, I think we offered him $27 million per year, depending on which report you believe. And then obviously all the others have got paid. So that was the agent, rightly so, saying, hang on a minute, them guys are getting 30 million plus. So it is what it is.
We don't know what the 49ers really offered and what he actually requested, right? Hey, Mike. So, and we don't know what that space is. Only they know truly. So we have to just wait and see how it all shapes up. But it's good to see that both sides really tried to get it done early. They just couldn't meet in the middle, wherever that middle is. So hopefully one day they will. And like we all know, Fred Warner is the earliest person to sign his contract. And he signed on July 21st. Right. And everyone says Debo took forever, but Debo actually signed on July 31st.
He did. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Not too long. That's not too long from now. So there's still time to get BA signed in the month of July. And we just have to wait and see what happens.
So Red Jet has shouted out Faithful Lee in Vegas again. So I'm not quite sure what this means, Red Jet Shell, but I love both of you. Mariah's been a big supporter of mine. She had me on her daily show. She's a great follow on Twitter. So if I can showcase in any way, I will. And as Alex Simpson has put their tie, if all we're worrying about is pulled hamstrings in the offseason, then as a 49er fan, you've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, exactly. We've had so much drama over the years, so much infighting, amongst the fan base, ourselves. Like this year is none of that. So I'm happy. A few hamstrings, I'm happy.
So there's an in-joke. So we have our Discord channel now. So the 49er Faithful UK is branching out. Chris is our 49ers insider on Discord. He started a little cheeky rumor that my contract wasn't going the way it would go. But anybody who knows me knows that I love the 49er Faithful UK and Lee Gowland is my guy. But yes, Red Jet Shell, I'm feeling the love. Paul Hope is not going anywhere. 49er Faithful UK.
That's right.
So,
word is that Lee Gowland said, Paul Hope is not going anywhere. Don't even call.
That is correct. And
per sources,
Brett will be liking this as well. So, justice for Brett. Now, for those of you watching at home, you'll see bottom. I'm always a big one on this show for pointing people from this community to the awesome content creators that I consider my friends. Obviously, I've met you in person. I've been on your channel, but at the moment, I'm flying the East Coast Red and Gold podcast on YouTube. So go search them up on YouTube. Sadly, in the UK, it's difficult to catch these guys live because obviously you go live.
You come on too late.
Too late for us. But I always watch back. And if you can, leave a like, leave a comment, show the love because we're all 49ers fans at the heart of it. So it's always good.
Exactly. We appreciate it.
So on the discussion of press conference, obviously after John and Kyle, we then had George Kittle, and he was talking quite candidly, Ty, about his own struggles, for want of a better word. He's obviously had some surgery in the off season. He dropped a bit of weight, but he was obviously saying that he's feeling good. He's putting the weight back on. I think George looked quite healthy and refreshed. Go on through, buddy.
No. I was going to say that's the one word that I actually use myself. He looked refreshed, like re-energized. And I'm saying, okay, this is the George I want to see moving forward. This is a very good sign. Yeah.
So have you watched the Receiver series on Netflix?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Yeah, so I loved quarterbacks. So I was definitely diving into receiver, knowing we had two players on.
So for us in the UK, stuff like this is amazing. And especially when it airs on Netflix. So like you, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Obviously, very heavy, the first couple of episodes of Kittle, Debo.
Yep.
And I think seeing George on that and then seeing him at the podium yesterday, like we've both touched upon the word refreshed, healthy, a big part of the team. He's a leader. I'm confident he's going to have a good season. Club 85 is here to stay. So let's have a little look.
Yeah. We know he was banged up at the end of the season. We know about the core injury that he suffered and the shoulder injury in the Super Bowl. I gotcha, Shell. I gotcha. So to see him back, he said he's feeling healthy, so he's not coming into camp, still having lingering issues. He'll be good to go. I think he's poised for a big year. He had a big year last year, so I think he's poised for another big one.
So I was slightly behind the curve because for those people in the UK watching, they'll laugh when I mention this bit. So my girls love a reality show called Love Island, Ty. I can't stand
yeah.
it. However, it goes live at 9 p.m. in the UK. So every night I'm left to my own devices. So I was like, Tracy was like, what are you going to do 9 till 10 while we're watching Love Island? I was like, receiver, Netflix.
Exactly.
So Tracy was quite happy. She managed to swerve that one. But Brett, you'll have to let us know your thoughts when you're back home, signed your contract, and you've binge watched Receiver. So you'll see at the bottom, I've changed the banner because, as I said at the start, Ty has his own channel. He's the host of the Stay Faithful podcast. So if you go onto YouTube and you search at Stay Faithful VIP on YouTube. Now, I was going to put the link in for your T-shirts, but I wasn't 100% sure whether I was typing it up right. And I had to do the George Kittle picture, and then there's another picture that we're going to share. So I thought what I would do is I'd fly the banner for your channel, and I would ask you to talk about your T-shirts, if that's okay, because obviously this is awesome. When this turned up, even Tracy was like, that is amazing. So...
Well, I'm glad you like that one. That was a little gift I sent you just for coming on the channel and being a part of this. The channel is at Stay Faithful VIP. My channel is just talking to the fellow faithful, about the 49ers, about themselves, getting to know each other. I use the VIP moniker because, I feel that everyone is a very important person and it's a very important program. So there you go. So everyone, if you could just join in, drop a like, subscribe to it, I'd appreciate it. I do make my own gear. This is me the rest of the season. Football's back, baby. So on Sundays, sorry, can't Niners bye. Don't even bother me. This is one of my creations. My website is stayfaithful.vip. You can go check it out. It's affordable tees and hoodies you can grab. I appreciate all the support.
Well, I'll share the link afterwards.
Thank you, Shell.
Red Jet Shell has liked and subbed. And I don't know if you saw this breaking news the other day on Instagram, but a little birdie says that Red Jet Shell may have a YouTube channel. Now, I don't believe she's going to be doing content like this at the moment, but I did reach out to her straight away and say, if she needs a guest, more than happy to jump on, because Red Jet is a big supporter of ours. So I know you'd be keen to get on there as well. So,
I'm subbing right away as soon as she announces it.
Now, before we move off the UK Faithful flag, because I got excited, like I always do on this show, one of the other reasons I wanted you to come on is you proudly fly the flag. You took it into Dallas last year. You fly it whenever you go to Levi's. So as an American, it's always good to get your thought process, because the flag's taken a life of its own. I think it's become quite popular. It's nice to see people like you fly it. So obviously seeing Kittle fly it was the kind of the cherry on the top, for want of a better word, or if I do the Kittle celebration. But what did it actually mean to you guys? Because obviously the main aim of it is our community, and we're just trying to showcase our love for the team.
I know for me, and I know a lot of others, it's just being a part of the community, helping it grow, bringing awareness to it. And like you said, the flying the flag is kind of taking on a life of its own. You got guys like Eric Oregard, who flies it everywhere he goes. I wish I had it when I went to Japan. I actually received it as soon as I got back from Japan. I would have loved to have taken it to Japan and flown it and be like, take that, Eric. But I'm sure he would probably went somewhere. I was going to take it to Mount Fuji and be like, take that. But knowing him, he would have gone to the moon and flown it. But it's great to see just to spread the awareness, spread the community aspect of it. I love going to games and representing. I'm always representing the Niners, but if I can represent the 49er Faithful UK, I'm definitely going to do it in any way possible. And flying the flag is a part of that. And you mentioned me going to the Dallas game. That was actually the Cowboys versus the Eagles. that was the week after we played the Eagles. I went to that game and I was like, I'm flying flag. I'm letting everyone know who I'm representing in the community we have. And I do it proudly. And I believe that everyone who does it, have the same enthusiasm and feeling when they do it as well. So it's really an honor to be able to fly the flag for you guys.
Well, we do appreciate it. I mean, the reason I touched upon this topic is when Lee handed over the keys to the social media a few years ago, I didn't even have a flag. It was always on my bucket list to get a flag. And at the time, Lee used to order the flags. And then when I got injured and he went to Vegas with Najee, he brought me my flag. So it means a lot to me personally because that's the flag that Lee brought back. And then we have started a bit of a challenge, as you've said, wherever you go, take the flag with you. So Eric Oregard is the leaderboard. He's been to about 37 different countries.
Yeah.
He flies that flag proudly. Wayne Humphreys, our awesome photographer, he has the best photo beside the little one where he's in Turkey last year and he's on the paraglider. The only way to top that one is El Presidente in space, I think, with Jed York holding the other end of the flag. But no, Lee, that isn't beyond the realms of possibility.
Possibility, right.
But I did see a couple of comments in our Facebook group at the weekend. Now, again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Some people don't get why we fly the flag everywhere. But like you said, echoing what John Chapman's trying to create and what other 49er fan chapters are trying to create, it's a community. We're 49ers fans. It's become our brand. And the fact that people are recognising it where you go. Last year, Joe Staley was blown away by the flag. So at the moment, we have Joe Staley with the flag, George Kittle with the flag, Brock Purdy with a flag. So what I want to ask the people at home watching a drop in the chat is which Niner would you like to see next flying the flag? Now, do keep those social media notifications switched on because I am due to head to Disneyland Paris in a couple of weeks with the family. And I will be taking that flag. So I will be getting some photos in and around France with the flag. I didn't take it last time when I went to Paris with Tracy because I promised a non-football kind of romantic weekend away. But this time, I'm taking the flag.
I hear you. You know what? When I went to Paris last year with the wife, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be romantic and such, but I just need a day. I just need not even a full day, just a moment. I'm going to record a podcast either at the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre. It wound up being the Louvre, and I took the flag with me, and I got pictures of me with the flag at the Louvre. So, and even did a little video. So yes, I know exactly what you mean. You got to take it with you and you got to represent. Yeah.
So Mike is another member of the faithful that is from across the pond. He's currently based over here at the moment, and he's put there that he takes a flag everywhere across the UK and Europe. He'll continue when he moves back to the States, and he may need to alter to the shades of green for his son. I think his son's a Jets fan. I think that's what he's alluding to. Now, interestingly, what's coming in here? So Wayne would like to see Debo with the flag. Brett would like to see Kyle Shanahan with the flag.
Kyle would be a good one. Yeah.
Ronnie Lott would be a pretty good one.
Now that's really legendary right there. Yeah.
Now, I would like to say, Mike, that we try Bosa, but Steph Sanchez has kind of cornered the Bosa market at the moment, and she is a good friend of the show. So I did want in my notes, I don't know if you saw that they asked Bosa about the Steph Sanchez impression.
Yeah.
So
it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think he took it quite well. I'm a big fan of Steph's, and it's been awesome to see her get the recognition that she deserves.
Most definitely.
So we'll put Bosa down, Mike, for now, because we don't want to upset him too much. Mark has put there, CMC with a flag would be awesome. And see, Reggie Shell is asking if I know where you are.
I'm in Cali. Yeah. No, I thought you knew. I am based in New York. I'm an East Coast guy. Thus, I'm on the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. But yeah, I'm based in NYC. My boy Rob, he's in NYC. We're both, New Yorkers. So I've been here, but if any opportunity for me to get to Cali, I'm out there.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
the video, again, you just sparked my memory. When I saw your videos in Paris, I definitely was like, oh, I missed an opportunity there because I went to the Louvre, I went to the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
So, because my girls are a bit older, because we're flying out to Disneyland Paris, it's only
Mhm.
about an hour and a half
Okay.
flight from where we are.
Yeah.
There may be the possibility for us to do a day in Paris. So, that's another
Okay.
reason why I'm taking the
Yeah.
flag. You will chuckle when I share this next story. So, part of my off-season purchases tie was the Homage Run CMC shirt.
Mhm.
So my girls are already cringing when they're watching this. So obviously going to Disneyland Paris, I need a superhero t-shirt for superhero
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah.
the girls' eyes rolled when I pulled out the Run
Of course they
CMC.
did. Yeah.
I was like, best superhero that I know. Obviously, Club 85, they were like, you're just going to
Mhm.
wear Niners stuff all week, aren't you? I was like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you not know me?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I did the same thing. I always wore a hat, always had on something, except for my night out. But yeah.
Yeah. So there's Shell saying that she didn't know. Now I knew, and that's another reason why I love this community. It doesn't matter whether you're based in San Francisco, based in the UK, based in New York City. All of us love this
Ireland,
team.
wherever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's worldwide. It's a worldwide community. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why the name 49ers Empire is so fitting, because it is truly a global team. We are everywhere.
It is. Now, before we move on to the next segment, Ty, as you know, Lee Gowland has got us our very own sponsorship deal. And we've
Mhm.
reached that time in the show where I need to tell you about our awesome partners. Power Brand Systems empowers creators and businesses to build their brand, attract an audience, and grow through effective systems and software solutions. But they can say it better than I can. Sit back and watch this advert from our sponsors.
Ready to generate more leads from your website, Google, and your social channels without having to spend money on ads? Our platform provides you with an easy-to-use communication stream that sucks in free leads from your website, Google, Facebook, and Instagram, enabling you to reply and convert them into customers from your computer or from our mobile app. We'll even turn your inbound calls into text message conversations, so you'll never miss another lead again. Once you've converted a satisfied customer, you can shoot them a Google review request with a click of a button, which will explode your positive reviews and increase your position in search engines. The system will also pull new reviews from Google and Facebook right into your conversation stream, where you can read and reply. Jumpstart your business by getting started today.
So that is Ty, Power Brand Systems. Now, Matthew is rivaling Eric for flying the flag. So Matthew has put there that he's heading to the to Norway this Saturday. The flag is packed. Now,
I like it.
before we move off to, I'm bringing Would You Rather back this week because I've got you on.
Oh,
And I've
here
got
we
one
go.
planned. Got one planned. But first, good friend of ours, Nick Clark. People who are fans of this show will have heard me talk quite a lot about the fan engagement manager. That is Nick Clark.
Mhm.
He is the one that is responsible for getting us in the gold mine, bringing Joe Staley to London, the awesome watch parties. Now, Nick has been promoted, Ty. So he's no longer the fan engagement officer. He's moved into the partnership team. And I just wanted to kind of tip a nod to Nick because he's been a big part of what we're doing. It was a dream of mine to actually watch a game with him at Levi's. And I'm absolutely blown away that I managed to get into the gold mine because Lee did say to me last year, if you don't come across this year, Paul, there's a good chance that it might not be the same experience. Now, I don't think Lee saw Nick being promoted.
Right.
Knowing Lee, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a hand in that tie. This is Lee Gowland. You know,
Lee probably made the recommendation for the promotion.
Now, it's been shared in socials. Nick has been very graceful to reply to all of us. I did love his message to Lee. He's built up such a great relationship with Lee. And we don't know who his replacement is, but I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you, Nick. I've still got your email address, so you're not getting rid of me that easily. But thank you for all you've done for the UK faithful.
Yeah, I got to thank Nick just on behalf of all the fans. You know, he's been great just supporting fans, supporting all the local chapters, no matter where they reside. The engagement that he brings, what he's done with the gold mine and the energy he brings on Sundays. it's unmatched, and I'm very happy for the promotion. Couldn't happen to a better guy. So congrats, Nick, and thank you.
So I shared this story before, but I'm going to share it again just in case you watch it. So my favorite Nick Clark story is the beginning of our journey with Nick Clark. So he reached out to us, Ty, in 2022. He was like, look, we want to come across to the UK. We've got the marketing right. We've got the connection with Leeds United. What can we do? Now, we hosted our own watch parties, for want of a better word, before the 49ers came along. And all we'd do is we'd pick a city in England. So, for example, we'd say, right, we're going down to Liverpool or we're going down to Manchester. We'd pick a sports bar. We just all meet up. So we said to Nick, this is what we do. So Nick was like, I can lend a hand. So Nick obviously got involved. Now, we had it all set up for the opening game against the Bears a couple of years ago. And then the Queen sadly died.
Yes.
So even though the UK is a lot smaller than America, it's still expensive to travel in the UK. So when we announce the watch parties, people book trains, they book accommodation, hotels. So when Nick dropped the bomb on the Friday that the Niners are pulling the plug as a mark of respect for the Queen, we were kind of a little bit stuck because we were like, we're still going.
Yeah.
You know, it's not disrespectful to the Queen.
Right. Yeah.
We're all going. And I remember Nick saying, all right, okay, well, how are you going to watch the game? Now, the Niners game that week wasn't on Sky Sports, which meant we were probably unable to watch the game without Nick and his hordes from the 49ers. And I just remember the cheeky glint in his eyes when he was like, so if you guys are at the pub, the sports bar that we've booked, and if I happen to walk past, I mean, it would be rude not for me to pop in. Now, at this point, I clicked on what he was meaning, but obviously he said, don't be telling everybody, you've got to keep it a secret. So we tell the group, you know, Nick Clark's coming, he's bringing the means to watch the game. We're not allowed to tell anybody. Everyone was like, right. At half time of said game, Ty, Nick is on the table, dancing with everybody, swinging his shirt around his head, videoing us all, saying that he's sending his footage back to his manager in San Francisco. And I was like, did you realize this is going to be kind of hard to keep a lid on? So that, to me, signified the relationship that we were going to have with that man. And like you said, gold mine, the work that he's done for the fan chapters, as James has put there, you know, all the work that he's done, not just for our group, but for everybody. And I'm sure it won't be the last we hear of Nick Clark, I'm sure.
Oh, not at all.
Go on.
Yeah, he'll continue to ascend. Yeah.
So we haven't had a Would You Rather for a while, Ty. It's no secret that Lee Gowland is not a fan of this segment. I thought Ty Olsen's coming on the show tonight. Now, I mentioned at the start, you have your own podcast. You've had myself on, you've had Lee Gowland. You've also had Matt Miyoko on. So you've shot Ty. And watching that press conference last night, I said to Tracy, this is giving me a great idea. So tonight's Would You Rather comes in two parts, Ty. There's no trick questions. So the first part is for your next Stay Faithful podcast, you are allowed one guest. You have to choose John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan. So who would you rather on the next podcast?
I'm definitely going Kyle. I'm choosing Kyle. I got a bunch of questions I love to ask him.
Well, that ties nicely into part two. So part two would be once you've picked your guests, so you've got Kyle Shanahan on. So obviously we've seen he's not a massive fan of the press. He doesn't like to be there, but I can guarantee you he's given you 20 minutes. You've got 20 minutes of Kyle Shanahan's time. You said you've got a lot of questions, but I want you to narrow it down to the most important question that you'd be asking Kyle Shanahan. Now, I know I put you on the spot, so I did not tell you what I was doing tonight, but you've selected Kyle. You've definitely got 20 minutes on the Stay Faithful podcast. What is the question that you're opening up with, Ty?
Oh my gosh. I would put him on the spot. And where is it? Oh man. I actually have it written down. Hold on. Let me put on my glasses. It's a fun one and something I would think he would get a kick out of.
Well, while you're looking for that, you surprised me because I thought you would pick John Lynch.
Ah,
So
why
the
so?
fact, I think after watching your interview with Miyoko and then watching you sit down
Hmm.
with Lee Gowland, I think your personality, I think you and John would click. And I think where
Yeah,
Kyle would be standoffish with the media, I think an episode with you and John Lynch would be really natural. And I think John would kind of forget about the camera because that's how I felt
yeah,
you did it with Matt Miyoko. Matt Miyoko was just chatting to you as a
yeah.
friend, as a fan. And I think Kyle would be a bit more guarded. So when I had this question in mind, Tracy did say, "Who do you think he'd ask?" And I was like, "I think he'll go for John Lynch, you know." But you've
Ah,
surprised me, so
surprise them. Yeah, I would talk some football with them, get a little X's and O's. I can't find the exact thing, but I always like to ask people something out of the box. But if we all can remember that terrible game versus Denver in the 2022 season, Jimmy G started at quarterback, and it was terrible. Our very own Denise Granger went on a rant after that game, and she said, I just need Kyle to call something, call like XYZ, whatever the F. She came up with this hilarious name for a play, and I wrote it down. And I said, if I ever interview him, I'm going to give him a whiteboard or an iPad or something. And I'm saying, your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to design a play titled XYZ, whatever the heck the name of it was, and put him on the spot. So that's what I would do.
see, that's what I like about you. Denise is someone that I haven't done a show with for a while. I
Mhm.
connected with Denise on social media. I've been fortunate to do some shows. She's very passionate. She
Yes.
is a massive Carl Shanahan fan. She's
Yes.
in
Yes.
the group chats that me and you were
Mhm.
in. So I
Mhm.
feel like me and her have a kindled love for Carl Shanahan because I get accused
Right.
of being, red and gold, rose tinted glasses. And I'm a fan of the
Yeah.
team, but I do like Carl Shanahan. But even there, you have your opportunity to talk with our head coach, and you're automatically thinking of a funny story, and that would make Denise's world.
Yeah.
If you managed to
Yeah.
sit down with Kyle and design
Mhm.
her play call, I think Denise would have to put that as her
Yeah.
Twitter handle. That would be it.
Exactly.
Done.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm always just thinking of ways to give back to the faithful, talk about the faithful. Yeah, like you mentioned my interview with Mayoko. One of the things that I regret, like I was so nervous for the interview, let me tell you that, because I've been a huge fan of Matt Miyoko for like 20 years now. Like I just always followed him, and when he started with Mindy and doing things, like huge. So meeting him to me is like meeting, a Ronnie Lott or Roger Craig. I'm a big fan. And I asked him about Brock Purdy doing impersonations, and does an impersonation of Nick Bosa. And he said he doesn't know, but he'll find out. And I wanted to tell him, have you heard of Steph Sanchez? Because that's when Steph started first doing her impersonations of Bosa, and they were great. And I wanted to plug Steph then, but I blanked on it. So I always regret that. But that's just my personality. If I can plug like the faithful individual or a group, I'm going to do it. I'm going to spread the love.
Well, I sent the bat signal to you to jump on this show, and straight away you were like, "Yep, I want to come on." And I'm glad
Yeah.
that I managed to get you on as a co-host. We connected by, I'm pretty sure it was in someone's chat on someone's show, someone like
Yeah.
Breezy Chapman. And
Mhm.
there's a few people like me who do content, but also are supporters of the content creators. And you're in the chat. Like I said to you off air, I was watching John Chapman whilst making the family dinner.
Yeah.
When I finish off with you, I'm no doubt going to go and watch Brad Graham or Jason Aponte
Right.
or catch
Right.
up on some of the stuff. And I do like to interact with people. And Steph Sanchez is, like you said, someone that I've been fortunate enough to work with.
Yeah.
And seeing her rise, seeing the Niners use her in the promotional hype videos for the season was just
Yeah.
like, kind of, I
Yeah.
was saying to the girls at home, I know Steph. After the show
Yeah.
with Steph, and they were like, "Oh my God, you've done a show with Steph Sanchez." I was like, "Yes, I have. Yes, I have."
Yeah.
Well, Redjet Shell, she's pushing for you to be
Uh-oh.
president. I
Uh-oh.
think she means
have to put my hat in
president
the
of
ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll share with you when we were in Levi's last year at half time. I went to go grab a drink and I went to go to use the bathroom. And
Mhm.
David Lombardi walked straight past
Oh,
me.
really? Oh, wow.
And I didn't know what to do. So I kind of just
Uh-huh.
said, hello. Now, obviously, he didn't know who I was. And he just kind of
Right.
looked at me. And I'm pretty sure the accent was a bit, he's
Yeah.
not American. And
Right.
he kind of like, and walked past. And then I thought, I really wished I should have asked him something meaningful. Like you said there with Matt
Yeah.
Mallorca, like, and then I don't know if you've saw, he's been over the UK. So he's been visiting Leeds United, who is the
Oh,
football
really?
team
Okay.
the 49ers
Mhm.
own.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I wish he'd let us know he was coming to the UK, because
Yeah.
we would have gone down to Leeds United and we would have met up with him, and we'd have
Yeah.
definitely loved to talk football with Dave.
Exactly.
Now, I haven't seen this tie, so I am putting both of us on the spot. So apparently Michael's dropped that Trent Williams is holding out for contract reasons.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Now, I do want to temper, Michael, that Trent Williams doesn't normally train on a Wednesday, ever.
Mm-mm.
It's normally given as a Veterans Day
Well,
off.
he does. Yeah.
There is rumours that he would like a new contract. I mean, don't get me wrong, who wouldn't like some more?
Started like weeks ago, a month ago or so. That dropped. Yeah.
And to be fair, he's dropped his source. So according to ESPN, so what you've done now, Michael, is when I finish on the show with Ty, that will be my homework for the next show, because I'll be like,
Yeah.
what's this news? Steve-O is saying that there's a lot better questions from the reporters today. So that was another
Good.
reason, everybody, that we wanted to go live today. We wanted to get back into the habit, Ty, of doing regular shows. So
Yes.
we will be back next week. We're not finishing off just yet, but we will be back next week. I think we've got a week off the week after, because that's Tracy's birthday. It's Wednesday, the 7th of August.
Yes.
I've already promised her family first. Paul
Exactly.
Hope will not be on the live show on Wednesday, the 7th. Lee Gowland and some of the others maybe, but I will be having the night off. But apparently, the tweet has come that Trent is holding out. And if you've ever met Brett, you'll understand why I've just sighed before I put this one up. He loves a good dad joke, Ty. So straight away, I already get the
Yeah.
fun in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, Michael, we're aware that the timing for us, that was another reason why when I asked Ty to come on, we keep it to an hour, because I know they'll be doing the press conferences.
Right.
I was hoping the press conferences would kind of be
Yeah.
like in the next 10 minutes, but is there any final thoughts, Ty? Because if the press conference is on, I don't want to keep people away from that. But have you got anything
Yeah.
you wanted to talk about, say, ask me?
No. It's good chat as always. I wanted to jump into the press conferences too. Like I'm saying, I'm just excited that the boys are back. We can actually hear directly from the team and the players, and not have all this speculation out there. So it's just an exciting time of year. I love preseason, the whole training camp preseason process, to see how the team is going to shape up and how things will shake out. So yeah, I'm jazzed. I'm happy.
Well, Ty,
Happy to be back.
Said it at the start. Football is back. The
back,
journey to number 6 starts now. We have meaningful football to talk about. As always, Ty Alston, you have been a legend. Thank you for joining me. Keep those notifications
having me.
switched on, everybody. We will be back next week. Any breaking news, I will try and catch up with on social media. Do like, subscribe, tell all you good people about us. And if you don't want to take my word for it, George Kittle has authorised use of this photo. Club 85, 49
baby.
Faithful UK. Until next time, Ty, stay safe. Go Niners.
We love the San Francisco 49ers deep in our heart. Like Joe Montana in the corner, Deep Clark. Garrison Hurst, Stiff Farm going 99. Don't